What's up, everybody? I'm professional wrestler Chris Wild, and this is the Spider-Man Brand New Day reaction. What do you? I can't sit like this. I can't stay like this. I mean, I'm not violating any terms of service. This was like a scene in the movie. Remember, he gets in the water with the Black Widow, and he's got the mask on, but nothing else. It was hilarious. Yeah, one of my favorite scenes. But I can't. All right, I'm at least gonna say the Spider-Man Brand New Day reaction video is coming up next, and much, much more. This is your one spoiler warning. Once the theme hits and I come back with no mask, spoilers galore.
The following announcement has been paid for by
The ENN Podcast.
He has a good energy, you guys.
Can you feel
Sport.
that excitement?
And also,
Wearing the merchandise, wearing the hats.
Is what I'm seeing for real?
Wild here live from Lincoln Financial.
I can't wait till this video's over so I can say its name anymore.
Music.
Wow.
Again, and I hate to do this again, but these are deep.
What the hell? What is that?
Whoa! What the hell?
And more.
What's his next book gonna be called? I see that coming. What's up, everybody? Professional wrestler Chris Wild live here from Heart Killer Media Studios. And I got to tell you, defending these titles is not easy, and it has kept me busy. 4 states in 2 weeks, not the most, but not the least. And it reminds me, we've been waiting 4 years for Spider-Man Brand New Day. We've been waiting 4 years for the next chapter in Peter Parker's saga. And it's been 4 years since I saw the movie with my son. This is going to be a very quick reaction video, as again, defending those belts has kept me busy, and I've been wanting to do this since it came out. So here we go. Let's first talk about theatrical experience. This was why you go to movie theaters. A movie like this, and I heard it was even better in IMAX. 4 years ago, I took my son to see the last Spider-Man movie, and it was great. And this one even topped that. Everybody in the theater, in a crowded theater, had on Spider-Man gear. Everybody had the popcorn buckets and the souvenirs. They reacted to everything, all the emotional parts of this movie. They reacted to absolutely everything in this movie, and it was just a great time to be in the theater. So now let's talk about the characters. I don't have a format, I don't have notes, but I kind of want to separate this movie into 3 sections, and that being characters, moments, and that controversial end credit scene. Now, Tom Holland returned as Spider-Man, and he played this part to perfection. We went from a guy that at the last movie had a spell put on the entire world that Peter Parker didn't even exist. So now he's got to watch in this movie 4 years of his best friend and the love of his life go through college, and he's watching them through live internet feeds while he's Spider-Man saving New York City and being that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. The pain and the stress that he has to go through to watch all of this happening. And he had that note he was supposed to give to MJ that he's been holding on to, and it was always in his mind when he was going to do that. The stress was so much that he started to become almost a man spider as the arachnid parts of him started to take over. He got more aggressive. He started getting stronger. He got the organic webbing coming out of his wrist instead of the mechanical version. And he didn't exactly know what was going on. And through all of the amazing moments in this movie that we'll get through, Tom Holland brought us there. Absolute perfection. And the next great character I wanted to talk about is Jon Bernthal's Punisher. I was a little bit concerned because I'm a big fan of the Netflix/Disney series of Daredevil and Daredevil Born Again and the Punisher solo series. But those are all R-rated things. Those are for mature audiences. And I was a little concerned on how that Punisher was going to fit into a PG-13 movie, and Marvel didn't miss a step. It was genius how they did it. When he sang the F word, Spider-Man's putting webbing on his mouth so he can't. He was still rough around the edges. There's a moment in the movie that we'll get to that brought me to that Netflix Punisher, and the relationship that he had with Peter throughout this movie almost stole the show completely. Ned and MJ were back. They were great in their roles. Ned, still being obsessed with Spider-Man, even though he doesn't know who Peter Parker was, and MJ kind of moving on with her life and having a happy life, made you a little bit anxious because you really wanted Peter to let them know, hey guys, like we were best friends, and hey, me and you were You were the love of my life. We were in love. You were waiting for that the whole movie, and I think they paced that great. You also see Ned's, big wall. There's a moment in the movie there where Peter goes into their housewarming party, their apartment warming party, and he sees, Ned's Spider-Man wall and the Spider-Man tracker, which we'll get to. And they just both played their parts great, man. They've been great throughout this entire series. And I'm really interested to see where they go, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk. I'm a big Hulk guy, as you can imagine, or as you can see. And it's been a long time since we've seen the Hulk. I mean, it's been a long time since we've seen the Hulk. And I'm talking about the Savage Hulk. I'm talking about the muscle bound, raging Hulk. We just haven't seen that. We haven't even really seen him turn into the Hulk in such a long time that it was so refreshing that that guy finally came back as him and Spider-Man had an epic fight. People say, oh, it was only 5 minutes long. It should have been longer. I thought it was perfect. I thought the Punisher getting in there, as we see, they have fought in the comics. I thought that was great. Just an absolute awesome portrayal of the character that we all know and love. And I hope he's in other movies. I can't wait to see the fact that the Savage Hulk remembered that Peter was his friend. So now he remembers Peter and the spell didn't affect him. I thought was great how they put that in. He falls out of the building. To me, that is reminiscent of the 1970s Hulk. That's how he died. I know obviously this Hulk didn't die. He got put into a psych ward, but I thought that was a good little nod to the Lou Ferrigno Hulk, and I absolutely enjoyed everything. If there's one little thing that I didn't like, it was the fact that they did not tell us why Bruce Banner stopped being Smart Hulk. I can understand not wanting, I can understand trying to keep the Savage Hulk to the side, but he was Smart Hulk, which was kind of Bruce, and they never told us why that he didn't, he wasn't that character anymore. Tramell Tillman, William Metzger, head of the DODC, he was the villain in this movie. He wasn't the worst villain. We'll get to that in a minute. But I love Severance. I think it's a great show. He's so awesome in Severance. I was very happy to see him in this film. The Black Widow returns. She's kind of like the Tony Stark for Tom Holland, giving him updates. As you saw in the open, and I should have told you, I told you in the open there'd be spoilers. Obviously, if you're already this far, there is. Sorry. Him getting into the pool with naked with just the Spider-Man mask. I thought it was hilarious and awesome. And it's great that I thought Thunderbolts is such a good movie. To have her involved in Spider-Man and keeping everything going to Doomsday. Thought it was great. She was awesome. I'm a big fan of The Bear. And if you watch The Bear, I think The Bear is one of the best shows on TV as it ended earlier this year, but maybe the best show on TV in a long time. And Tina was in it. Tina is Sergeant DeWolf, who kind of is like a mother figure or Peter's only friend as he's, she's head of the police and he's they're working together. And, she's saying, hey, you need some rest. She can tell he's a kid. It was great that he had somebody like that. I love her portrayal in it and really interested to see how that goes going forward. I hope it doesn't go the way that it went in the comics. Sadie Sink. Sadie Sink, one of our favorite characters of Stranger Things. Everybody knows her as Max from Stranger Things. And she comes into this movie in the worst kept secret in movie history as she's Jean Grey. I was a little concerned with this too because Jean Grey is such a popular character in the Marvel universe. And I mean in the comic book universe as an X-Men, as Scott Summers' wife. And she's a 16-year-old kid in this movie who we come to find out the DODC took her sister. They're playing the parts of good guys the whole time, which makes Spider-Man help them. And it blows up in Spider-Man's face. And man, Sadie Sink has some crazy stuff going on in this movie. We'll get to that in a minute, but she did absolutely awesome. Scorpion was in this movie, but not for a lot of the time. And again, if I was to nitpick, that would be one of the things that I didn't like. Nacho Varga from Better Call Saul, easy for me to say. But he was awesome. I thought the suit was awesome. I thought they could have had maybe a little bit more fighting going on. He got his mind controlled by Jean Grey as well. But it was good to see him in the movie. It was also, they did a part in this movie, and I'm getting a little bit off base right now, where they showed of Spider-Man fighting a lot of the villains that he would fight in the comics. And they kind of did a nod to, as they recreated, some of the famous comic book covers. Again, just such a great thing to put into this 2.5 hour masterpiece. So I'm sure I probably missed some characters in there. Again, I don't have any notes. Don't have a format sheet, just going off a whim, a reaction video here. And I want to talk about some of the moments that I reacted the most to. My favorite fighting scene, no, not the Hulk, but it was when Peter is fighting the Hand that Jean Grey is now controlling. And, he's got an inhibitor on that he had built, which he got the nod from Bruce Banner to do that. And he takes it off and he lets that man spider the aggression kind of come, and he learns how to control that in that moment. He controls it, and she asks him, you need to make a choice. Are you Peter Parker or are you Spider-Man? He says, I'm both. And now this is the Spider-Man we love. He's strong. He's aggressive. He's got the organic webs that I love that Tobey Maguire had. And he is just a force. And that fight scene is one of the best fight scenes in movies general. I'll put it up against any fight scene. In the comments, let me know if there's a better fight scene than that. But it was just absolutely awesome. Definitely the best fighting scene in a superhero movie that I've seen. But what a great moment. Then we've got what really gave me faith in this Punisher character. And again, I love the Netflix Punisher. I love the edgy Punisher. And, MJ's being not held, but hid in his hideout. And Peter says to him, like, I just want to be like you. I want to be left alone. And I'm paraphrasing here, but he says, hey, kid, like, you don't know nothing about me. You think I want this? This wasn't a choice. This is a sentence. And if the people that I love were still around, I won't be running around like in a mask. And he just had that very edgy tone to him. And it brought me back to the Netflix Punisher. Just a great moment there. I could talk about Jean Grey. She's this villain throughout the whole thing, or at least we think. Then come to find out that, William Messer took her sister and killed her sister. And, she's having this big mental break. And Peter, who now knows that he can be Peter Parker and Spider-Man, tells her, look, go ahead and get in my head. And she does. And she sees a memory of Aunt May talking to Peter. Then she becomes Peter. Very Stranger Things-ish, if I could say. And, Aunt May has this great speech that she would give Peter. And it kind of, it brings down Jean Grey's spell, or the mental hold that she had on the whole city. Peter, tells her, look, if you don't have anybody, you've got me. The next moment right after that, the Punisher accidentally shoots Peter. They go to the hospital. Sadie Sink, Jean Grey, is keeping Peter breathing throughout the whole thing to make sure he survives. And then, Frank realizes, hey, you're just a kid. Like, he realizes Spider-Man is just a kid, and he helps conceal his identity, helps him escape the hospital. Peter goes out, and these are all great moments, goes out, sees the crowd that loves him. Kind of a nod to a Tobey Maguire moment. And I just thought it was incredible. I thought it was an incredible scene. The ending moments of Ned, the handshake.
Hello? Peter.
It makes you wonder, does he really remember Peter, or just, MJ kind of told him Peter was Spider-Man, or Peter was Spider-Man's name.
Spider-Man's name is Peter?
Earlier in the movie, does he realize that? It gives you something to think about, for sure. And then at MJ, when Jean Grey has this mental hold on New York City, you can see a tear coming down MJ's face, and you're wondering if those memories come back, and you see her on the rooftop, kind of diddling with the necklace that Peter had gave her. That you really didn't see much in this movie. So again, making you think what's going to happen next. And that's what these movies are supposed to do. But my number one moment out of this whole movie, and every Marvel movie, every good Marvel movie, I should say, has these in them. Peter fight has the Hulk fight. He comes back to the hideout, and she finds the note.
Did you want me to find it?
And I've been trying to live my life without you, but I can't. I love you.
I'm so grateful. But I don't love you.
Now, she's not being mean when she says this because she doesn't know Peter. She doesn't remember Peter. But it was just, again, this movie brought so many emotions, and I wish I could go deeper into this, but it left, everyone has, I feel like everybody's had heartbreak like that, or, sometimes you let people go that you don't want to let go. And then, you can't get them back. It's too late. And I think you felt that while watching that, and then seeing how Peter felt after that. Just a great moment. Zendaya, Tom Holland, they just acted their asses off in that scene. So now we got the controversial end credit scene. So Peter sees that earlier in the movie that Ned has a tracker. I don't know how he can track Spider-Man, but he can track Spider-Man. So after you wait for all the credits to be done, you see the tracker come up. They're looking for Spider-Man. They see the Spider-Man icon is on Earth. Then it pans out. There's some glitchy stuff that happens. And then you see it in space. Location found, and it's in space. I'm just going to tell you my theory. I'm not going to tell you all the theories that are going around. And it says Spider-Man will return. Doesn't say the movie. The bottom is blank. If you remember in the Thunderbolts, if you watch the end credit scene, the Fantastic Four's plane from a different Earth is now coming into orbit. I think as we go into Doomsday, and you know that these worlds are all going to be encouraged by Doomsday, I think the Fantastic Four's Earth and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man's Earth start to encourage. Spider-Man jumps on the ship, and he is now in orbit to our Earth with the Fantastic Four. Now, what that means for Tom Holland Spider-Man, I don't know. There are other theories going on about the raft, as I'm sure you've heard, and other things. It'll be interesting to see where they go with that, but I do know that Tobey Maguire is going to be in the Doomsday movie, and I think this is how he gets there. Either way, it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how Jean Grey is this a different Jean Grey? Is there the X-Men's Earth, Jean Grey, different? There's so many questions, so many different things to look forward to. But as far as this movie goes, if I was to rank it, it'd be at like a 9.5 out of 10. The only little thing, again, there were just little things, like we never really finding out how Peter gets his money. I'm guessing Aunt May left him some. I'm guessing Tony Stark left him some. But he's not working at the Bugle. Jameson's not in there at all. There are just little things like that make me not give it a 10 out of 10, but just a masterpiece of a movie. And to end this, it was just absolutely amazing. An amazing, amazing Spider-Man. With that being said, Eagles training camp is happening right now. I'll be busy dealing with that, trying to get some content out for that. But I hope you guys like this reaction video. I thought the movie was great. My son thought it was great. And I had an amazing time. Again, no pun intended. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy. Go Birds, and I'll see you later.